And now it's time for more of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. This portion of the show is sponsored in part by Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. Rancho Leonero, where your wildest Baja dreams come true. Maui Jim Sunglasses, the choice of the best captains. Shimano Rods and Reels, fish with the best. Shimano. And by Yamaha Outboards, official motor sponsor of Let's Talk Hookup. Here we go. Another great hour of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's Talk Hookup. Here's Pete Gray and Rock Cod Rick Maxa.
Welcome back, hour number 2. Let's Talk Hookup. Mighty 1090. Pete Gray here. Rock Cod Rick Maxa here, too, with Captain John Collins, fishing expert. That's all we can say. Yeah. Both fresh and saltwater action. Talking some great times here and learning a lot from this amazing gentleman.
Yep, having a great time talking fishing and talking to you. And if you want to get in on the fun, give us a call this morning. 2 ways you can be a part of Let's Talk Hookup. Again, with our local line. That one's 858 area code 457-1090. Or call us toll-free. The toll-free number is 877-792-1090. Both of those shots are going to get you through, allow you to talk to the man, Captain John Collins, and also you're going to get to win, or an opportunity to win a fantastic prize. If you didn't catch it at the beginning of the show, what an awesome opportunity. We're giving away a brand new handmade Anza fillet knife, a fantastic knife, handmade by our good buddies up at Anza Knives, a high-carbon steel, just a fantastic fillet knife. And be very careful when you're putting that thing back into its sheath, because they are very sharp. Very sharp.
Yeah,
it's a good knife, as it should be. In addition to that killer Anza knife, you're going to get half-day passes, 2 of them going fishing aboard the Dolphin at a Fisherman's Landing. We really want to thank John for making that happen. A very cool, kind of sweet-in-the-pot deal. 2 half-day passes going on the Dolphin, includes all your tackle rental. What an awesome opportunity. Again, if you want to get through, 858-457-1090 is the local number, or toll-free at 877-792-1090.
Indeed. Phones are packed, but just keep on trying. You'll be able to get through here and talk to Captain John Collins. Hey, you know, the Tuna Wars Captain's Reception with Wicked Tuna guys, Paul and Dave Marciano, coming up Tuesday, June 26th. Still tickets available, but we're sweetening the pot this weekend. Today's the last day. If you buy a ticket, or 4 tickets, or 6 tickets, at $25 a piece, today or tomorrow, $25 worth of raffle tickets comes your way. So basically, we're buying you a ticket and giving you free $25 worth of free raffle tickets. So for every ticket you buy, you get $25 worth of free raffle tickets, or you can apply that $25 to one of the packages too. The Maui Jim package, where you get a free pair of Maui Jim sunglasses by buying $300. It would cost you $275. We have rod deals, all kinds of stuff. So basically, today's the last day to buy those tickets for the Captain's Receptions. We know you're coming. You got to come. It's a
fun
great
night,
event.
yeah.
Well, I'll be there. Rick will be there. A lot of people will be there. Tuesday, June 26th, at the Valley High Restaurant in Shelter Island. And for every $25 you buy today, you're going to get $25 worth of raffle tickets. For every ticket you buy for $25, you're going to get $25 worth of raffle tickets. CaptainRollos.org. Captain Rollos with an S.org is the website. Click on that banner for the Tuna Wars event, and that'll take you right to where you can buy tickets right online there. And, John, you do a lot of stuff for Captain Rollos, I know.
Yeah, you know, I was on the board of directors for 11 years, and between working on the boat and trying to get out fishing and stuff, I just couldn't get the time that I felt was necessary to be on the board of directors. And I got off the board of directors, but don't get me wrong, the kids fishing program is at the top, in my opinion, as far as we've got to get more and more kids out fishing. All of us guys that are in our 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, we're already hooked. We've got to get these younger kids out there and bring up another generation of people to continue on what we're trying to do today.
No doubt.
I love you've talked about it in the past on some of your trips, how you incorporate, obviously, your love for Friends of Rollo and raising money to take kids fishing into a lot of the trips that you host.
I do. The next 2 trips that I have, I'm going to be doing a Friends of Rollo raffle, and all the proceeds from the raffle, guys can buy raffle tickets on the boat and for that trip, and that money gets turned over to to the Rollos Kids Foundation. And just to give you an idea, and this is just an example of one trip. Many of the items are the same on the other. But on the Royal Polaris trip, this is what we're going to be raffling off. 4 custom Cousins wrapped rods with the Rollo logo, a Graphtec rod, 3 Abbott 2-speed reels, an accurate reel, 2 Shimano soft tackle boxes, 1 pair of Costa Del Mar sunglasses, $300 gift certificates for Fisherman's Landing tackle, 2 $50 gift certificates for Dana Landing, 3 500-yard spools of Jerry Brown's Line 1 Spectra, 3 passes on the San Diego, 3 passes on the Liberty, 2 RP jackets and 2 pair of AFCO shorts, a $250 gift certificate for the RP, a $250 gift certificate for the Shogun, 2 of those AO cold storage bags that hold like 2 12-packs of soda. They'll keep them ice cold, don't leak, and they've got the Friends of Rollo logo right on the side. And then shirts and hats from AFCO and numerous other
This is on
other
one
stuff.
trip?
This is for the Royal Polaris trip. And the trip on the Independence is very similar to this, obviously with the exception of Frank's generosity of donating 2 $250 gift certificates for the RP and the Shogun.
Wow, that's a tremendous. So if you're going on those trips, bring extra money to buy the tickets, right?
Bring the extra money. What I do on these trips, the tickets are $20 a piece, and I limit people to 5 tickets. Some of the guys that come on these trips, $100 is fine. But some of these other guys that are, they buy $500 worth of tickets. I don't want them walking off the boat with 3 rods and 3 reels. So this is try to make it fair for everybody.
So does everybody buy $100 worth of tickets? I would think.
I haven't had anybody buy less than that yet.
I was going to say
with
that's a
a
good
list
way to
like
do
that,
it.
I'll bet.
Yeah.
And
with 28 people on the boat, we're looking at $2,800, and that's going to go to the kids, Rollo kids.
And I was just going to say, as we always say with all those things, in addition, and that's what's so cool about all of the fundraising opportunities for all the the Rollo trips and things. All of them are very great prizes. Clearly, like this, your opportunity at winning something awesome is very good. But when it's all said and done, all of your money is going to take kids fishing.
That's correct.
Indeed. Hey, let's find out what's biting out there. The FishDope.com report with Captain Dave Hansen's on the line. This report sponsored by Gamakatsu Hooks, Japan's leading fish hook, sets the standard for quality and innovation, strength and durability. Local tuna and yellowtail fishing, it's happening. You make that Gamakatsu Nautilus circle hook. That's your go-to hook. It's got the strength and durability as well as the right design to put fish on the boat and get that fish hooked. So get Gamakatsu Nautilus circle hooks at your favorite tackle store. Captain Dave, what's going on?
Well, good morning, Pete. Good morning, Rick.
Morning, Dave.
Finally, the wind stopped blowing. And
Yes.
Look at what's happening. The bluefin geysers having phenomenal sign. Close to home. It's not that far. It's definitely one day and a half range. It hasn't really started to bite yet, but they're seeing a phenomenal amount of fish out in that zone. But as far as coastal fishing in San Clemente Island, Catalina, it's on fire. Barracuda up there in the Long Beach, San Pedro area, that barracuda showed up. That fish has been missing from the bite for a few years. It's in there. It's kind of biting. The Enterprises have had a couple of really good days on that barracuda, which is great news for us because we need some of that fish in our zone. Then you go look up and down the coast. We have anchovies for bait at Dana Point. I hear they have anchovies for bait in Oceanside. And I'll tell you what, that has sparked a phenomenal calico bass bite up and down the kelp lines. It doesn't matter. All you got to do is find a little condition, a little trickle of downhill current. Throw a handful of that anchovy in the water, and the fish look like they haven't eaten for 10 years. They just come cartwheeling out of the water.
That's cool.
It's spectacular. It's fun to have fish boiling around the boat again. Water temperatures are up 65, 67 degrees along the coast. I think we're in store for a phenomenal season, guys. I think you just, like I always say, the only thing you got to do is you got to go fishing.
You got to go fishing. I'll tell you what, our friend Jeff Rodriguez sent me a photo this morning of a beautiful bluefin tuna he caught on a popper right off of San Clemente Island yesterday. So
okay,
there's fish
there you
around.
go.
So there it is, man. It's happening. It's a game on. They wouldn't eat the sardine. They wouldn't eat anything. They wouldn't eat squid, but they ate the popper. So that's good news.
Oh, darn.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, darn. I know you hate
a real
that,
bummer.
Ricky.
Yeah, for sure. So fishdope.com, they've had all the information, all the scoop on that, and $20 off a new membership to fishdope.com by using the code HOOKUPNOW, lowercase, no space, HOOKUPNOW. And how do we find you, Captain Dave?
Well, guys, I got that brand new website. Pete, you had nothing but good things to say about it, and
Indeed.
I thank you very much for that.
It's looking good.
The
Those
website,
videos are awesome.
Yeah, it's going great. It's going good. I can't wait to come into to the studio next week and talk more about it. But you guys can look me up at yoursaltwaterguide.com. Check out my website. And you can also call me at 949-374-0786. And there is a rumor that the boat is going to be complete on next Friday, and we're having a trip on Sunday, Father's Day. So
Sweet.
Nice.
time to start getting some fish on the boat.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll see you in the studio right here next Saturday.
Absolutely. I'm excited.
All right.
Saturday in the studio and then a Sunday on the phone, people are going to get tired of me.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But
I don't know
as
if
long
that's
as you're
possible.
giving us good information, they won't. Don't worry, Dave.
Okay.
All right.
I'll
See you,
keep
Dave. See
trying.
you next Saturday in the studio. Thanks a lot for that.
All right.
Thank you, guys. I'll talk to you next Saturday.
See you, Dave. Well, the phone lines are absolutely packed solid. Everybody wants to talk to John. We're going to jump back into the phones. How about we start it off with Matt? He's calling us from Fountain Valley this morning. Matt, thanks for hanging in there with us.
Good morning, Matt.
Hey, good morning, fellas. It's so good to talk to you. And Pete, I was down at the Rancho Leonero last week, and it was great to talk to you and meet John and everybody, Pamela, Jen. The whole facility was great.
Yeah.
But I'm going to get back to that real quick. But one of the things I love about this show is when John and Rick were talking about the big fish and settling in and being comfortable, especially at the start, because their tails are so sharp, they're not yelltail. You're not going to stop them before they get to the rocks. You got to take your time, settle in, because you're going to be there for a while. And once you get that mindset, you're going to catch that big one.
You're absolutely right.
But back to the ranch, I had such a great time. The facility was great, and just had a blast. Beautiful, beautiful place. I got stuck in that hammock, and I could one of the hammocks, I could barely get out of it.
Yeah, those
That'll
things
do
are
it.
contagious for sure.
That's a great spot.
Yeah, and got some fish too, Matt?
No, I fished Tuesday, which is the second day of your tournament, and like John said earlier last hour, the water temperature dropped 10 degrees the day I flew in. So, but we had a great time, and one more thing about that John Collins knot. I used to fish with a guy by the name of Joe Miller up here in Long Beach area, and he had a knot that was similar to the John Collins, but it wasn't quite the same as the John Collins. Do you guys remember the late, great Joe Miller?
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, his knot is a great knot. There's no question about it. The only problem with the Joe Miller knot is it's technically involved. It's a difficult knot to teach somebody how to tie. If you know how to tie it, it's easy, but it's very, very difficult to have somebody stand there and watch you tie it.
Yeah.
And it's real easy to tie it incorrect. You don't want to tie it incorrect, that's for sure. But no, it is a great knot. I know guys that use it, but they've tried to show their buddies how to tie it, and they just don't get it. And the simplicity of the RP knot is what makes people use that knot.
For sure. Hey, thanks a lot for the phone call this morning. Great to see you down there at Rancho Leonero, Matt. Appreciate it.
How about next up we talk to Eric. He's calling us from Point Loma. Hey, Eric, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Eric.
Good morning. I had a basic question on the John Collins knot, actually, and that's if the mono or the fluorocarbon is the loop part of the knot, or if the braid would be the loop part of the knot when you tie that, and if there's any difference between going more than 6 and 7 on your wraps.
Okay, you make the loop in the mono or the fluorocarbon. You can do it either way, but it's so much easier to wrap spectra than it is to wrap fluorocarbon, especially up in the heavier, because it's coily. It's hard to get one wrap in front of the other.
So you use the John Collins knot to connect fluorocarbon to mono?
No.
No.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's for fluorocarbon to spectra or mono to spectra. It's just so much easier to wrap the spectra. You can wrap it nice and even and come back. It's funny you asked if you can use more than 5 wraps, because I had a guy walked up to me on the dock yesterday morning in front of Point Loma, and he says, John, I really love your knot. He says, I use 7 wraps. He said, I just want to be sure. And I says, well, if you use 5, I guarantee you can be sure. The purpose of the knot is to keep it small. I have never, ever found an instance where you need to make more than 5 wraps.
For no matter how big the line.
Doesn't make a bit of difference.
How small the line.
It doesn't make a bit of difference.
Just test that knot, right?
Exactly. It's not going to slip with 5 wraps. And again, by only using 5, keeps it small. If you want to use 6, you want to use 7, go right ahead. But you're not getting any more strength out of the knot by using more than 5 wraps.
One of the keys that I've noticed with that John Collins RP knot is the snap at the end, right?
Yeah, when you
Why don't you explain that?
Call that lock the knot.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you have it wrapped down 5 and up 5 and go back through the loop again, you're pulling all 4 pieces together, literally till you can't pull them anymore. When you let go of the 2 tag lines, you want to make a wrap around one hand with the spectra and a wrap around the other hand with the fluorocarbon or mono, and not a heavy jerk, especially if you're using 15-pound line. You jerk it hard, you're going to break everything, But,
yeah.
But when you do it, you want to snap it, and what that does, it cinches everything down quick and really locks the knot. I mean, once you do that, it's as tight as it'll ever get.
Yeah, and then pull on it, test it, make sure it's good.
Sure, absolutely. I do the same thing when I tie a knot on the hook. I start pulling on it like I'm trying to break it on the boat. I'd rather have it come undone on the boat than I would in the water.
Absolutely. Hey, thanks a lot for the phone call this morning.
All right, how about next up we talk to Hills. Hills is calling us from Ventura. Again, Hills, appreciate you hanging in there with us, buddy.
Good morning, Hills.
Hey, good morning, guys. Thanks for the great show. I have 2 questions for John Collins, and so great that you have such great guests. Your show is like no other that there's ever been. But and I'm wondering if you have the gong on, that's on the Christmas show ready, because Pete might gong me on my second question. But so the first question is, I really like circle hooks for tuna especially, and I've caught pretty much every fish that we catch around here on circle hooks, and I believe in them. But on the local boats here in Ventura, the crews really don't trust the circle hooks. They want you to fish J hooks specifically for yellows. The yellows are mean, and they want you to, they're telling me, no, we don't like those hooks. We've seen more fish lost, and so I wanted to ask John that opinion. And should I ask the other question too, so you can gong me after that?
Yeah, go for it.
Bong.
Okay. So I was fishing the tuna pens, and the bluefin was like 50 pounds. So I had mono at 30-pound mono, and I wanted to put 30-pound fluoro, and I didn't trust just a back uni, because I figured, man, that's going to break itself or something. So I wanted a Chinese finger puzzle. So what I did was, since the fluoro is stiffer, I made a loop in the fluoro like it was you would with spectra, and I used the mono, and I did it down 5 up, and I tied that knot, and I landed one, and it after like 40 minutes with a undersized gear, and the knot held up. So that was my question.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, your confidence level went sky high, I'm sure.
There you go. Yeah. So what about the first question there, John?
Okay.
Circle hooks for yellowtail.
Circle hooks. I'm an older guy. I was old school for a long time. When circle hooks first came out, I would not use a circle hook. I didn't believe in them. Fluorocarbon first came out. I wouldn't use fluorocarbon. I was old school. I'm going to get a bite on monofilament, and I'll fish a bait all day long to get one bite to prove you can get bit on monofilament, even though the guy next to me is getting 8 or 10 fish on fluorocarbon. Since those days, I've changed. I use almost exclusively fluorocarbon on spectra for bait fishing. The only time I use mono anymore is when I fish the surface iron for yellowtail. I don't like casting straight spectra. I like a full reel of monofilament. As far as circle hooks go, I almost exclusively use circle hooks for every application of ocean fishing in this day and age, especially on fish that can chew you off. Bigger tuna, bluefin in particular, they're notorious. When you catch yellowfin, you hook them in the corner of the mouth with a circle hook. They come up. Yellowfin are very predictable. They normally, almost always, will continue circling in the same direction. The problem with bluefin is they constantly change direction. They'll be circling to the right, then they circle to the left. And if you think about it, when they're circling one way, then you have that constant tension on the hook where the hook's in the corner of the mouth. They change direction, you're getting a different pull on that hook. And that's why so many times when you're fishing bluefin, you're looking at the fish when you lose it.
Ah, okay.
Because they're changing direction. They're shaking their head, and by doing that, they're wearing a different pattern on that hook, and it just rips out.
All right, great. Hey, Gil Hills, thanks a lot for the phone call this morning. Want to remind you, you want to go with us on the Islander kayak trip. 2 spots left on that trip. We the weather looks beyond sensational.
I was just looking at it during the break. It's going to be so nice,
Best
dude.
ever for our kayak trip. And we leave on Tuesday evening at 8 o'clock, load the boat at 6 o'clock. If you don't have a kayak and you want to go, you can rent one from Fast Lane Kayaks in Mission Bay. Just call Ron or the guys over at the Fast Lane, and they'll rent you one. But the trip is $425, includes all your food. It's limited to 22 passengers. And if you want to go with us, it's, weather's great, and that's a big factor on that. We'll be going to San Clemente Island and having a good time. The yellows are biting. Who knows? Maybe some bluefin.
Just to give you an idea, I just looked up, the wind model for Wednesday. The wind from the first half of the day up through noon is forecasted to be 1 knot. And from noon till 7 p.m., it's forecasted to blow all the way up to 3 knots.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. You've got a seriously nice day of. What a perfect day for having the kayaks out at the island. Big, giant San Clemente calico bass and yellows. And there's really good halibut fishing last time.
Absolutely.
That is such a cool trip and a cool experience. And the Islander does it so smooth. I mean, I'm not a guy that has done much in the way of kayak fishing. I went on one of those trips. The way that they load the boats for you, the giant swim platform they have. What I'm getting at is you do not need to be an expert kayak fisherman to enjoy a really cool fishing experience.
Yeah. They have a skiff that brings you waters and beers and bait and whatever you need.
It's
so
cool.
Everybody watches out for you. Like Ricky says, you do not have to be an experienced kayak fisherman. In fact,
you don't even need to own one.
You don't need to go one. You can rent one, a Hobie Mirage Drive kayak, a brand new one from Fastlane, and be on the trip with us on Tuesday evening. So if you want to go, 2 spots left. Go to our website, letstalkhookup.com, on the shop page, and you'll see the Islander kayak trip. Purchase your spot on that, and we'll see you Tuesday evening on the Islander at a Fisherman's Landing. Very good trip.
Hey, when we come back, we got more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way, including more of your phone calls. You stay tuned. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the mighty 1090. Alaska is one of the ultimate fishing destinations in the world. This is Rock Cod Rick, and every year the one trip I look forward to is Kingfisher Charters in Sitka, Alaska. My dad and I have been going for over 15 years, and I just can't wait to go again. No one does it better than Kingfisher Charters. They offer the best service, the most comfortable accommodations, fantastic food, the finest fishing charter captains in all of Sitka, and the ultimate value. Sure, I've been to others, but time and time again, nobody beats Kingfisher Charters. You can catch huge halibut like the ones we do almost every year, and salmon, well, Sitka is famous for some of the best runs in Alaska. We also get plenty of rockfish and huge lingcod. And when it comes to fish processing, the best in Alaska is Kingfisher Charters. And listen to this, it's all included in your package. In fact, everything is included except the tips. It's truly amazing how the Kingfisher crew continues the quality of service they deliver year after year. Come and join me on the Let's Talk Hookup trip in June, or just go when you can. Kingfisher Charters, 800-727-6136, or check kingfishercharters.com.
I always wear a life jacket when I'm on the water because I'm lazy. I like floating like a giant turtle covered with SPF 50. The life jacket does the work. I highly recommend this to everyone. Save the ones you love. A message from California State Parks Division of Boating and Waterways.
Hey, today's the last day. It's the San Diego International Boat Show right there across from the airport in San Diego. great show. I was there the other day. They have a lot of big boats, a lot of small boats, and a lot of fishing boats there, too, for you to check out.
I want to check out that regulator. We heard of the guys from Cussler yesterday, the great lures, the great Riviera, so many great opportunities, so many great deals at the boat show. And like we said before, you can see all the free demos, all the power boat lessons, enjoy the tiki bar with the Anchors and Ales beer garden, the live music and entertainment, seminars. There's such a wide variety of things to do at the San Diego International Boat Show.
Right there across from the airport at Spanish Landing. It goes from 10 to 6 today. You got to get down there. There's lots of great stuff to see on land as well as on the water. The San Diego Boat Show, today's the last day. Check SanDiegoInternationalBoatShow.com for tickets and details.
22nd Street Landing Sport Fishing in San Pedro is home to LA's finest open party fleet, including overnights on the Freedom, Catalina Freelance on the Pursuit, half-day trips on the Monte Carlo, and three-quarter-day trips on the Native Sun. Plus, you can charter the Ultra, Spectra, and Trueline. There is always plenty of free parking and a fully stocked tackle store. Take advantage of the Wednesday specials on the Pursuit and Monte Carlo, and kids fish free with a paid adult on the afternoon half-day. 22nd Street Landing Sport Fishing in San Pedro. Call 310-832-8304 or book online at 22ndstreet.com.
This is Captain Tim Ekstrom from the long-range vessel Royal Star. With my partners Randy Toussaint and Brian Sims, we have set the bar for the long-range fishing experience. A spring 8-day, summer 5-day, or a fly-down, fly-back 11-day winter trip, we deliver the highest quality long-range voyage you will find. From our premium RSW fish storage to our top-of-the-line chefs and crew, Royal Star distinguishes itself from all others. Want to grab a spot on the Royal Star? Check us out at RoyalStarSportFishing.com or call Tracy at 619-224-4764.
XEPRS 1090 AM, Rosarito, Baja California.
San Diego's sports leader. The home of ESPN Radio. The mighty 1090.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the mighty 1090. Phones are packed. Everybody's excited to talk to John. We're going to do it. Jumping right back into the phones. We're going to talk to Sam, and he's calling us from Irvine this morning. What's up, Sam? Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Good morning. I have never tried the John Collins mount. I've always been a Bob Sands guy, but I'm going to try it. I just feel more confident with a lot of reps, but going through the guides is a bummer. But my question is, when I heard he had a talk at 25 and he ties knots, does he not use any hollow at all, John?
You know, I am a knot guy. I'm very confident in the knots. Don't get me wrong, the hollow connections, there's several different ways to do hollow. There are several different ways to do solid. You can use knots with both hollow and solid. I just happen to be a knot guy. I've seen every possible connection that you can think of at one time or another fail. And the only reason it failed, it's not because of the knot or the connection, it's because it wasn't done properly.
Right, yeah. The reason I'm asking is the hollow is so much more expensive when you fill these big reels up with that Spectra.
You know, the only difference is, of course, if you use solid, then you're pretty much locked into solid. If you lose some of that solid, I have another knot that I have. Guys ask me, I'll show it to them, but it's like I call it a 7-7, and it's used to splice solid Spectra to solid Spectra. And this knot, it's a perfect knot for doing that. Really? Rather than stripping all the Spectra solid off your reel and refilling, I've got reels that have 2 connections of that on it.
Really?
On big fish. I've caught fish well over 200 pounds.
We might have to do another video.
But it is called a 7-7. Roy Rose taught me that knot. He calls it Roy's mistake. I just call it 7-7.
Roy's mistake.
Yeah, it's a 7-turn square knot. It comes out beautiful, it's small, and it's strong. I mean, it really is strong, and it holds. And it's a perfect knot to add additional solid Spectra or hollow. Either way, you can use either one. But solid, you're stuck with solid once you use solid.
Right. Yeah.
And this will allow you to add some more solid to your reel without stripping it all off and having to respool with brand new line.
And that's one of the advantages of using like Power Pro Hollow Ace, is putting hollow on, is that if you do lose line, it's a very simple splice to just put. It's basically, you can't even tell where the splice is when you do it on hollow, which is a really nice advantage.
I fish with hollow. I mean, there's advantages and disadvantages to both. It's not a black or white answer, this is better than that, because they both have their things. every third or fourth trip that I go on, which for me it means probably every other year, I strip, about 100 yards off of all of my reels, and I just cut it off, and I splice a new 100 yards in, and I wind it back on there for just, you get a bait that was soaked a long ways, and you hooked it in the shoulder, and the hook kind of spun around, and it caught him in the nose, and the bait helicoptered all the way in and spun your line up, or there's a bunch of needlefish around, or just general tangles and sticking it, or whatever scenario applies. So every third or fourth trip, I put about 50 yards or 100 yards on, so I know that what I'm casting and fly lining is brand new, nice, clean, easy spectra that comes off the reel real nice. And like Pete, you're saying, the advantage of the hollows, you don't even see that splice. The only way I know it's there is because 100 yards down, my spectra's getting a little gray and old and funky. Still perfectly strong, but, that's the only way you would even know it was there is by the color change.
For sure.
Right.
Hey, thanks a lot for the phone call this morning. Let's find out what's cooking right now. Our Chef Yanni is on the line from Fisherman's Belly. Good morning, Chef Yanni.
Good morning, gentlemen. What a great show this morning. Very educational. And good morning to all the fishermen out there. And, John, I got to say, I'm with you. I'm a circle hook guy, and I've had a great deal of success, especially when it comes to halibut fishing. And I don't have to mention this. I don't have to mention any spots, but I'm telling you, there is a great halibut bite going on between Santa Barbara and the Mexican border right now. I've got a ton of buddies that are just loading up their freezers. So,
well, that narrows it down.
Well, all you have to do is follow those tides, follow the moon, and follow the grunion. And I'm telling you, I've got friends of mine that are catching them 3 and 4 feet offshore. Right from they're fishing.
That's
nice.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. And nice sized halibut this year, too, especially with the anchovies around. But my next recipe is dedicated to all my buddies with halibut. It is a fish sandwich. It's a crispy barbecue halibut sandwich. And what's really great about this recipe is it teaches you 2 things. How to make a super crispy batter with cornstarch, and how to make your own homemade barbecue sauce. And once you fishermen learn how to make a homemade barbecue sauce and how easy it really is, believe me, you'll be ready to enter any barbecue competition along this country, anywhere you go.
Cool.
It's just fantastic. I hope you guys try it.
Yeah, check it out. It's at Fisherman's Belly right now. We'll get it up on the Let's Talk Hookup page very, very soon on our Angler's Table sections. But in the meantime, how do we find you, Yanni?
Well, you can certainly find my recipes on Let's Talk Hookup, on my website, fishermansbelly.com, and my Facebook page, my Instagram, and certainly my YouTube channel called Fisherman's Belly Channel.
That's right. All right, Yanni, great job. We'll check out that halibut recipe and talk to you in a couple weeks.
You bet you will. Thank you, gentlemen. Have a great day.
All right, perfect timing for our trip next week.
No
This
doubt.
Kingfisher Charters, right?
That looked really good. I was on Fisherman's Belly while Yanni was talking about it. Just the photo of that crispy halibut sandwich, that got me fired up, man.
Oh,
We'll
yeah.
do that
We'll
when we
be
get
catching
back
some
for sure.
halibut up there.
No
yeah.
doubt. Hey, let's jump into the phones. Everybody's excited to talk to John. How about another John? John in Long Beach up next. What's up, John? Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. Great show as usual. I would like to thank Mr. Collins there for that knot. I've been using it for about 3 or 4 years, and I will say that until I really learned how to tie it right and lock it in, I broke it a few times, but since I've really learned how to tie it properly, no connection failures whatsoever. It's really easy to tie, and thank you very much.
Oh, you're more than welcome, and I'm so happy to hear this. I'm waiting for the call one day when somebody says, you know that knot you come up with? I'll go, yeah. He says, it sucks.
No,
fortunately,
fortunately, it
does not. I've
I've
not heard that yet, but I'm very happy to hear that everybody likes
Whoever
it.
says that knot sucks, if that ever happens to you, didn't tie it correctly.
That's the way I
and
feel
they didn't
about it.
test it.
That's correct.
Yeah,
I agree 100%.
I watched the YouTube video on Let's Talk Hookup, and several times to get it down right. But once you get it down, it's really, really pretty easy and pretty quick to do.
It is quick, yeah, and it's plenty strong enough for the kind of fishing that we do locally, especially locally.
I was always kind of like you had said. I've always tied it for, call it 80-pound and below, just because that's where, my confidence. And then I like Pete, I like to use an insert-style connection when I get up in that heavier line. I went fishing on a long-range trip with Brandon, who I work in the tackle store with, and I was so impressed. He had caught a big fish on 100-pound line, attack 25, caught a big one where he wanted to change his fluorocarbon. He walked over to his bag. He cut the knot off. He, pulled out a double arm's length worth of 100-pound fluorocarbon. He tied a John Collins knot, tied a hook on it, was back in the water with a new top shot in seconds, hooked a 225-pounder and put it on the deck like nothing. I mean, I'm
with the John Collins.
Yeah, with a piece of Seaguar fluorocarbon out of his bag, stripped it off. No, I spend so much time making my pre-made wind-ons and hollow, and I really like
while you're
Sato
making
crimps.
connections, he's catching fish.
Back in the water, no problem. Yeah, I mean it's a knot that just. After that, and seeing the amount of pressure that was put on that fish, I'm a believer in at any size line. Like you said, there's not a line size where it's inappropriate. You just have to, and he is very cautious about making every loop stack up to minimize the diameter difference.
You bring up a good point. A guy that was on a trip here a few years ago, he had bought some pre-made wind-ons, and he put it on. He lost 3 fish in a row. They came undone. And I said, personally, I don't trust anything anybody else does. I trust what I do, and I'm going to teach you. And I taught him how to do the connection.
That's why I like using that Sato crimp kit if you are going to do those, because you do it yourself, you know it's going to work.
Exactly. Well, those 3 in a row, and he was really upset. And I showed him how to do a knotted connection, and the rest of the trip he was fine.
That's it. And the thing is, when you're tying it yourself, you know that it's done the way you're supposed to.
Well, the other thing, when somebody else is tying that connection, you don't know whether they had a fight with their husband or wife that night, and they're all bent out of shape, and they're doing this stuff. They don't want to be there, and they're doing it, and who's to know,
Exactly.
Yeah, you got it.
Hey, thanks a lot for the call this morning. Our next San Diego County Ford dealer remote broadcast, Saturday, July 7th, coming up very soon at Mossy Ford in Pacific Beach, and it's your next chance to win 2 great grand prizes by either random drawing by just showing up or the Shimano casting contest. Prize 1, a Hobie Mirage Drive kayak from Fastlane Kayaks in Mission Bay, along with a trip to Cedros kayak fishing on Cedros Island. That's like a $4,000 package. Grand prize number 2 is a 4-night fishing package for 2 at Rancho Leonero in Baja East Cape, including round-trip tickets for 2 from San Diego, Orange County, or LAX to Los Cabos on Alaska Airlines. Hey, be sure to check that Alaska Airlines banner on the front page of the letstalkhookup.com website. And you can win a trip on the Blackjack, courtesy of Dana Landing in Mission Bay, Shimano Rods and Reels, Maui Jim Sunglasses, Tommy P and the Prize Cowboy will be there. Ton of great stuff just for showing up. Just all kinds of good stuff. So have a chance to win those great prizes, including the trip to Rancho Leonero on Alaska Airlines or the Fastlane Hobie Kayak and Cedros Kayak fishing trip. Check the guest page at letstalkhookup.com for details and rules. See you Saturday, July 7th at Mossy Ford, just off the 5 freeway in Mission Bay.
All right, let's jump back into the phones. Talk to John. He's calling us from Escondido this morning. Hi, John. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Morning, John.
How you guys doing? Hey, Ricky, it was me that was in the tackle shop when I left to go on the 3-day.
Yeah, buddy, I definitely remember, John. Good to hear from you.
Rigging up that cold snap for me and everything like that. And Mr. Collins, thank you very much. I went on an 18-day back in April, and I'd booked it over a year ago, and I spent that year watching you, tie knots, and that just helped me out so much, and I had such a good time, and it's just it's fun when you know how to do stuff.
Well, I can't tell you how much that makes me feel good, really.
And the true thing, and when you go on a trip with John, even if he is a passenger, I mean, you're so lucky because it's such a learning experience hanging out with the guy.
I spend a lot of time working with guys when
I'm sure you do.
Yeah, when I'm on the boat, whether I'm working or fishing.
I want to go on a trip with you because long-range fishing is such an education. It is like, are you still learning?
You know something, Pete? You said that it brought something. I have had so fortunate, over 30 years of working, in the business here, of fishing with the best rod and reelers you could ever think of. I mean, I've fished with the greatest. For chunk fishermen, fly line fishermen, just guys that really, really knew what they were doing. And the knowledge you pick up on those trips, you just can't, you couldn't pay for that knowledge.
No doubt about it. It's
just
like,
to get one-on-one. It's just so, and from all different people. There's all kinds of people.
And all kinds of different techniques.
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah, what works today may not work tomorrow.
That's right. But these guys, some of these guys that I fished with or seen fishing on the boat, they can adjust so quick to changing conditions. I mean, from one cast to the next. They can change.
One of the things that's so important about going fishing on those things is that's where the real education comes from. I am in no way knocking doing as much research as you can. The internet is the greatest and the worst thing that's ever happened to our fishing. And the great thing about it is you have so much information. But the downside is anybody who has an opinion can type it and put it on there no matter how right it is or not. And some people get so hyper-focused in doing all this internet research that they lose sight on watching exactly what John just described. When you're on the boat, you get to learn from the crew who's been there every day and these passengers who've done it for their whole life. Like that's where the real education comes from, you know. And I'm not saying that there's not great information out there online too, but the real juicy stuff like that comes from getting to go on the boat.
Stuff you're going to learn on the boat.
Yeah.
You know what? The greatest pleasure is teaching somebody how to do something, watching them put it to use, and they see their success.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much reward in that. I just can't tell you.
So that being said, any of these trips that you're on, do they have any spots left on them?
The one leaving this weekend, no. The next one, no. The one in August, no. But the one in December, I believe there's 2 spots left on the 10-day in December.
Cool.
Oh, really?
And last year,
the AFCO-sponsored trip.
That's correct. Last year's
on the
trip,
Independence?
That's correct.
Wow.
Last year's trip, we went to Guadalupe, and it was phenomenal.
Oh, boy.
I mean, phenomenal.
Sounds like fun. So if you want to go with John, December, 10-day, AFCO trip on the Independence.
And some serious goodies to potentially win in the raffle.
For sure. Hey, check out this week's edition of Western Outdoor News, always loaded with super information. And this next week, watch for that wrap-up of the Catalina White Sea Bass Halibut Tournament. Be anxious to hear how things went over there. So check it out every week, Western Outdoor News.
Hey, when we come back, we're going to find out who's got themselves a brand new Anza knife and going fishing on the Dolphin. You stay tuned. More Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090.
Yamaha's Wake Up to Savings sales event is here. Purchase an eligible new 2.5 to 150 horsepower 4-stroke outboard and get up to $750 in dealer credit toward the purchase of additional goods or services. The Wake Up to Savings sales event. Reliability starts here. Yamaha. Visit your local Yamaha Outboards dealer today. Offer ends June 15, 2018, subject to change at any time. Other restrictions and conditions apply. See authorized participating Yamaha outboard dealers for details. This promotion cannot be used with any other Yamaha offer.
This is Captain Art Taylor of Searcher Sport Fishing. Come join our seasoned crew led by Captain Aaron, Remy, and me on a fishing adventure to remember. Our 2018 schedule is available now with multi-day trips to fit your budget. The Searcher has remodeled cabins, an RSW system to preserve your catch, and great meals prepared by our chefs. Don't wait. Book your adventure online now at searchersportfishing.com or call Celia at 619-226-2403. That's 619-226-2403. Visit searchersportfishing.com.
When it comes to fishing rods for saltwater, there's just one name you need to know, CalStar. Take, for example, the Graphiter series. It's a true graphite and fiberglass composite rod, the finest that's ever been built. And for anglers seeking traditional performance, durability, and quality at an affordable price, the CalStar West Coast series of rods and blanks are the ones for you. Their master craftsmen bring decades of rod building experience to every rod they make. So if you want your fishing rods to be truly state-of-the-art, I always recommend CalStar at fine tackle stores everywhere.
Quality is the name of the game at Seaforth Sport Fishing in Mission Bay. Free parking and fully stocked tackle shop, plus a great fleet. It's no wonder Seaforth Sport Fishing is a favorite among anglers. Come aboard top boats like the Aztec, Cortez, Endeavor, Apollo, Outer Limits, El Gato Dos, Pride, Tribute, Tomahawk, Prowler, Pacific Voyager, and the Voyager. Plus, the new Seaforth, Sea Watch, and San Diego offer the finest half and full day trips available. Seaforth Sport Fishing. For charters or regular open party schedule, check seaforthlanding.com. Run by fishermen for fishermen in Mission Bay.
For over 5 decades, Lee Palm Sport Fishing has set the standard in long-range fishing that they pioneered long ago. The Red Rooster 3 sets a new standard of excellence. The Red Rooster 3 is one of the most modern, quiet, and fastest long-range vessels in the fleet. They have handpicked the finest crew to make your trip a memorable one. The Red Rooster 3 offers trips from 3 to 18 days and runs year-round to the best fishing spots on the planet. Ride Try the Red Rooster 3 once, and you'll be back again. Call the Red Rooster 3 at 619-224-3857 or see them on the web at redrooster3.com.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090. All right, the big winner getting that brand new Anza knife and the 2 half-day passes going on the Dolphin. That's going to Eric in Point Loma. You're stoked, Eric. That boat's in your backyard.
Yeah, backyard, and you're going to love that Anza fillet knife for sure. John Collins, never enough time. My gosh,
Right?
packed phones the whole time. So many questions about freshwater, saltwater, and it's such a pleasure having you in the studio, and such a pleasure, I'm sure, going fishing with you. I hope I can do that sometime in the near future.
I hope so, too, Pete.
Yeah, and John, again, you do a lot of trips with the Royal Polaris, a lot of trips on the Independence.
Yeah.
Just call the office and say, which trip is that John Collins guy on? I want to go on that trip, all right?
You call my wife, Judy, and Judy would be more than happy to book whatever's available left on my trips, or any other trip on the Independence.
Sure. Yeah, for sure.
Or Monica on the Royal Polaris, either one.
Right. Yeah. Just say, hey, I want to go fishing with that guy John. Which trips is he on? Put me on the wait list.
Yeah, right?
There you go.
Yeah, for sure. And John, keep up the great work.
Great, buddy.
You're such an inspiration to fishermen and such a great guy to hang around, and we sure appreciate what you do for us.
Well, thank you very much for having me on the program, and it's a pleasure always to be here.
And I'll tell you what, we got to have you back soon, but it's going to have to be between trips, I think, right? With your schedule.
Good luck.
There's some open windows.
Okay, good. All right, very good. Thanks for being here, John, and thank you for listening this weekend. Thanks to Adam on the other side of the glass, who not only manages our fantastic app, which I used a lot while I was in Mexico. Listen to that app is unbelievable. You listen in your car, you listen on the beach, wherever you are. The Let's Talk Hookup app, if you haven't downloaded it yet, go to the App Store or the Google Play Store and download it. Trust me, it's fantastic if you enjoy listening to recordings or live Let's Talk Hookup. It's fantastic. And classics, too. So it's there. Check it out. You can learn about it on our website, letstalkhookup.com, too. Next week, Saturday, the one and only Captain Dave Hansen, your saltwater guide. Watch out.
Thank God, the one and only.
Yes, indeed. And next Sunday, a great guy, Captain John Conniff from the Islander, talking about our Let's Talk Hookup trip this week on the Islander, for sure, and others, too.
The boat's so nice right now. He's done such a good job.
Sure.
Those are going to be great shows.
Thanks for listening today. We'll see you next week right back here on the Mighty 1090.